I make sure that that's really what we're doing. And so in just a second, we're going to break up into groups, and we're going to dream. We're going to think about those things. But I want to tell you a really quick story about the first Young Life Club and how it came about. And that's, you can see that glimpse right there. That's Young Life Club. I love this picture. Jim Rayburn, the guy kind of up here in the corner leaning against the fireplace, he started Young Life. And that picture is their Young Life Club got so big that they had to start meeting in a funeral home. That's a funeral home parlor. And the thing I love about that picture is they're going into a space that's really filled with death. And they're talking about what real life is all about. Now, that's what we're trying to do in Young Life. We show up because we want you to know where real life is found. And we want all of your high school to know where real life is found in Jesus. So Jim Rayburn, back in the late 1930s, early 40s, he was a youth pastor in Gainesville, Texas. And the pastor there at the church, he said, hey, there's a high school right across the street. I don't want you to worry about it. Don't waste your time worrying about what's happening in this building. Because there are hundreds of high school folks right over there that they're not going to come over here. And they need to know hope, life. They need to know who Jesus is. So Jim was like, okay. So he went over to the high school and he began to try to figure out, how can I make something that every high school person would want to be at? And so he started trying to think about it. And he found a couple friends, high school guys and girls, that would get together with him once a week. And they started praying. Before they started Young Life, they started praying for what God would want to do in that high school. Maybe kind of like the first ever junior-senior meeting. It's kind of cool to think about. You know, this last weekend, what's up, EJ? This last weekend, our Young Life leaders, we went to a leader weekend, like I told you, right near Windy Gap. And we spent some time praying for every single one of y'all. We prayed for every one of your classmates by name. And I'm not making that up. We really did. All of the model, DAR, and Rome students. We prayed for y'all. And it was a really cool thing to be able to lift y'all up. To watch, like, hey, God, you've got something in mind. You know what you want to do. How can we be a part of that? And bringing these friends in. So that's what they're doing. They're getting together praying. And one night, it's about a week before they're going to start Young Life, they start praying. And one of the kids they prayed for by name was a guy named Burr Nichols. And as they prayed, one of the girls in the crowd, her head kind of popped up. And she was like, oh, I'll get Burr to come to Young Life. They were dating, and so she felt like, I got some pull. I can get him to come. And so, sure enough, the next week rolls around. They're kicking off Young Life. And there's all kinds of energy. Jim's not sure what's happening. I don't know if you've ever tried to put something on, but there's a lot of nervous energy in there. You're like, I hope this goes well. And so this is what happens. I'm gonna read Jim's actual words for a couple minutes. Jim says, we started the next meeting, and it's a night I'll never forget. It was crowded in the hall that we were meeting. It was a big front hall, but 75 people crammed in is a lot of people for just a hallway. He said they were sitting on the floor, and I was crammed up against the front door. He said, and I kept looking for that girl and for Burr. They weren't there. He said, so we went through the songs, we did all of the things for Young Life Club that are so fun, and then it was time for him to get up and give the talk. And he gets up and he's like, they're still not here. And he said, just as I was getting up to speak, there came this, like across the front porch, he heard the steps. And the door busts open behind me, and he said, here comes in the girl. And right behind her is Burr. And he's kind of like, you know, his girlfriend made him come, and there's no space for them to go. And so they sit down literally right in front of Jim. And he's like, okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. And so he says he starts talking. And he said at the end, when he got done talking, he said they had not been there for anything. And so he was all nervous. What's Burr thinking? He said, well, there must have been something Burr heard that he liked, because he said Burr just got up and he stuck his big old mitt out. That's what he called his hand, because he was captain of the football team. I think he was a pretty big guy. And he said, boy, Jim, I really like that. I'm going to be back next week. So Jim was like, okay, it was a good week. And the next week rolls around. Same thing happens. Young Life starts happening. He's looking all around. They've gone through everything, and he's about to get up and give the talk. Burr's not there. But as he scans the room, he sees the girl. And he says, oh no, they must have had a divorce this week. He thinks they broke up. And so he begins to talk. But then again, he hears, and the door flings open. And right there is Burr, and he says, Burr comes up, and he says, Jim, I wouldn't have been so late, but I couldn't find some of these guys. And 4 of his teammates came in trailing behind him. Jim said, 5 clubs in, 5 Young Life clubs in, Burr decided that he wanted to follow Jesus. There was something about what he heard that said, I believe it, I'm in. And so he started to follow Jesus. And he said just a little bit later that fall, Burr drove over to Dallas from Gainesville, Texas to kind of scout the football team they were going to play the next week. And on the way back home, they got into a wreck, and Burr passed away. Burr's parents asked Jim to speak at his funeral because they said, you're the only preacher that he would ever listen to. There was something about the way that Jim saw value in Burr and told him about who Jesus was, that he gave his life to Jesus and he was never the same. Jim says there are hundreds, I would say thousands of Burr Nichols in your high school and in the high schools that we're not in yet. And we want all of them to know the hope and the life that's found there. You can be the one who calls someone by name. You can be the one who befriends them and brings them in. And it's not just a Monday night. We begin to live life together. We begin to find a place where everybody belongs. And they have a chance to decide, do I believe who this guy Jesus is? Do I want to follow him for the rest of my life and never be the same? For the next few minutes, what I would love to do is I want to break up into groups. And I want you to talk with your friends and your Young Life leaders about what you could be a part of. I've got 3 questions that I'll put up, and they're kind of wordy. So you can spread out in this room. If a group of y'all wants to go hang out in other spaces in here, you can do that. But I'd say take a picture of these pictures. And we're going to hang out for about 20 minutes. And then I'd love for you to just come back in here right at 8:30. And we'll close it out with just a couple details and send you on home. All right? But here's the questions. The first thing, what do you love about Young Life on Monday nights? What makes you feel like you belong? What do you feel like, oh, that's my favorite part? And how might you be a part of that? That's really what we're asking in that first question. The second question is, who do you know in your school that isn't involved in Young Life? Maybe they've never been. Maybe they're not sure what it's all about. Who you really want to see here? I'll say make a list. Write it down. And then number 3, pray for your list. While y'all are gathering together, pray over that list by name. And begin to watch what God will do. Because I promise you, you were made to be a part of something really big. You were uniquely designed and created to do something that nobody else around you can do, to change people's lives. And if you'll look for where God's working, and you'll say, how can I be a part of it? He's going to blow you away. He's going to show you how you can give people what they long for with him. So let's break up. Let's gather up Young Life leaders. Y'all can help people find spaces. Well, let's talk. Take pictures if you want to.
What's your name? When's your birthday?
March.
What year?
2008.
What's your name? When's your birthday? What year?
2008.
When's your birthday? What?
Girls, you want to go to the...
Go over there? Yeah, if you catch it, go over there. Take it. All right, Rome girls over there. Rome girls and EJ.
So,
The only group in here?
What happened? They were like, Rome girls were going to go in there. I was like, Rome girls and EJ?
We got. Hey, look at this. We get the room to ourselves.
Yeah, come on. I like it. I think it's got wheels. You can drive it. Yeah. Good shot.
Actually, no, I don't need to. I can just pull up a chair.
You don't want to? Okay. River, I'm letting you steer the conversation. All right. Let's see what River does. You can stand.
Alright, well.
Hey, what's up?
Alright, I don't know all your names. What's your name?
Clay.
Clay? And then
I'm EJ.
EJ. Are y'all from Rome? Rome? Cool. Y'all know everybody else's names?
Pretty much.
Pretty much? Cool. Alright, well, so first question is, what do you love about Young Life on Monday nights? And how can you become a part of making club what we hope it'll be? So, what's some of your favorite parts about Monday nights?
I like it on Monday nights because it almost feels like almost like a revival, kind of, because like the week's just starting and it's just like a good way to help get your mind right.
Like rejuvenate you?
Yeah.
Nice. What else? Charlie?
I like going to Young Life because it kind of like gives me an escape from schoolwork
Mm-hmm.
and all that really stresses me out. So
Yeah.
I just get to hang out with my friends here.
For sure, dude. I like to go off with that. I like seeing my friends. I like going to Young Life and all my friends being there.
I like going to Young Life on Monday nights because I get a chance to see like River and like last year Charlie and Ben, and it's just like a good example of guys that I want to strive to be.
Thanks, bro.
Building off what Evan said, I just really like the community that we make with our leaders and the other kids here. Just everybody's so comfortable and open, and it's just really cool atmosphere.
I like watching my friends embarrass themselves with like the food challenges and stuff. Like we raise your hand, you go, oh yeah,
Spaghetti and Sean and stuff.
I like watching but not doing.
yeah. Well, I never get picked, obviously. It's not my fault.
See, what you gotta do to get picked is you gotta not show up for like a month.
And then,
Like, that was me 9th grade year, bro. I didn't show up in every
what
time
you
I-
last year?
Oh yeah, like, no, that was mostly 9th grade because like I didn't go, and like every time I went, I would get called up to do the games. I was like, bro, I'm not going anymore. Those games.
Alright. What's some like what are some of y'all's favorite parts though, like of the club? Like specifics.
Seeing Sydney.
Nice.
I just like to hang out in the beginning, playing games and stuff.
Yeah.
Frisbee. Frisbee's good.
I like getting there early before the games start and just talking to Charlie.
Nice.
But Charlie's
Fellow Ginger.
Actually.
We
Yeah,
talk,
is
we
he
talk about
gonna
like,
show up to Thursdays, or is
Turns
he like
out.
gone?
Turns out. You got the thumbs up to come help us out on Thursdays.
We needed somebody.
What's some other specifics about Young Life y'all like?
The song
Yeah, the music.
that Charlie would play.
I like singing the same songs every week.
Yeah, it sounds like they like Charlie a lot.
It was pretty good too.
I'm no Charlie.
Yeah, cause we can have stuffed animal and like name it Ben.
Bro, you're like a younger
on
version of
Thursday
Ben.
mornings. Huh?
You're like a younger version of Ben.
That's so true.
It just acts just like.
It is a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Who wouldn't want to be
Ben's a
Ben?
great guy.
Exactly.
Am I Charlie?
No.
Got the old
Yeah.
ball.
You're
Yeah,
not-
yes.
Wait.
Got the old
Is
ball.
Ben married yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I'm
feel
like
I
May.
knew
for like a
that. I
month.
feel like it's.
We're like, oh, it was in May, wasn't it?
No, it was in July.
Oh,
Right.
No, his graduation was
I
early.
would have known if he would have.
I would have actually
like he
would've-
said he would.
Yeah,
bro
yeah,
said he was
we
gonna invite us.
talked-
We never,
We
we never
talked
got
to
the
his
invite.
wife and him at a basketball game or something like that, and
Look
he
for
was
you
like,
guys to come.
and we were like,
Nah.
hey, we won't eat anything and we won't like sit anywhere. And she was like, all right, then y'all can come. And
They
then we
said
never
he
got the
had-
invite, so
It said he was gonna have me like behind the windows, like outside.
get him a little ladder. He's just sitting outside.
All right. Well, y'all talked about like some of the things that y'all really like about Young Life and just being there and why you like being there. But like kind of part of this meeting is like to pull some of these freshmen and sophomore guys that don't really have that community and have what y'all are kind of talking about. They don't have that, and they're seeking for that in something. So part of this meeting is kind of like to vision and look what it looked like to pull some of those guys in. And so I mean, this isn't like really a question, but like, what are some ways that like y'all can look to do that more and pull some people in, and ways you can, I guess, seek after that, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
We can go for the freshmen at Sherwood.
That sure would, yeah. There's a lot of them.
Tons of them don't go, but they can.
Post pictures of us on Instagram,
Bro.
hanging out and having a good time.
Not Instagram. Facebook.
Bro, Avi.
So the moms can see it, they can drive them to
And
school.
so
only
they
one-
can tell their
I mean,
kids.
If we post that on Facebook, the only one that's gonna see it is your mom and my mom, Avi. No kids our age will see that.
But Instagram, like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna finish that.
I think just like recognizing like some of the younger guys' situations, because I know like my situation, I heard about Young Life from my brothers going, but a lot of these like freshmen and sophomores, like they don't have siblings that have ever been involved. So like just like looking at these kids who may have never heard about it, and be like, hey, let me give you a ride to Young Life. Let me go pick you up.
Yeah.
And you can just take them and give them a good time. Or
just take him and give him a good time. Yeah, Max is gonna take a lot of them.
Let them have
No,
a
I
good
give
time.
him a good time. Yeah, but go alongside him, like Joel said earlier, like someone came up to him and knew his name, you know, and that's like kind of sparked him to like be like, wow, someone knows my name, someone really cares about me, and then he got involved with that community, you know. So that was pretty funny. Joel, you want to share that story? If not, it's cool, but no.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. I mean, I
I
guess I
mean,
can
I-
tell you, like, some of y'all may have probably heard me say it, because I think I shared it last year, the junior senior year, but it's like, there was a junior, and he was like, in my eyes, the guy in high school, like the junior class guy.
Like me.
And yeah, just like you.
Definitely not.
But like he called my name out, and I thought he doesn't know who I am. And so I kept walking, and then he called my name again, and I turned around, and he was like pointing at me, and I'm like, how the heck does he know my name? And he asked me what I was doing. And, that night, and I was like, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to do. I'm a freshman. And he was like, you're coming to Young Life. And he came to my house, and he picked me up, and he drove me to club. But the thing about it is, and I think this is what I want y'all to hear, is it's not a gimmick. Don't just like, if you're like, hey, I'm going to fill up my car with a bunch of freshmen and then drop them. All right, I took him to club one time. What Todd did is he kept being my friend. Like, it wasn't a game. He invited me and a couple buddies. He'd take us to the Y. We'd work out before school in the mornings. He actually was my friend. We weren't best friends, so there's no pressure for you to be like, oh crap, I gotta be a big brother, big sister type thing. But he just actually genuinely cared about me, and it made all the difference in the world. And I would tell you this too, he didn't have everything figured out. Like, he wasn't like, oh, I know the Bible perfectly, or I should be, preaching in church, or making straight A's. He struggled with a whole lot of stuff. His life was a mess, but he believed what we were talking about. And he knew that he could be a part of that. And God used him. I wouldn't be sitting here hanging with y'all without Todd inviting me. So you can do that. And I think what we're trying to do with this question, like even for like Clay, EJ, what we're trying to think about is how can you be a part of that? Like, not just bringing them, but also creating a space where when they show up, this is a place where I want to be back. And it could be the stuff we do up front, but I really believe that's only a piece of it. I think it has more to do with, like, are we bringing them in and letting them taste like, whoa, these people care. This is fun. This is good stuff. We play stupid games driving to North Carolina. All of a sudden you got some bonds. You go, let's go hang out again. So.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, just pulling people in, and like Joel said, like, it's not just about what the leaders do at Young Life. I think those dap ups with these freshman guys you've never met before, like, are so important that, like, you don't even realize it, because y'all have such a big influence. So yeah, really like that story a lot. So who do you know in your school? And I mean, you could say them out loud, it'd be awesome. If not, cool. Who hasn't been invited, or who you really want to see here at Young Life on Monday nights?
Didn't you say that there's like a freshman club? Something like that?
Yeah, that's like
Yep.
kickoff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will. That's a great question out here. I will tell y'all when we pull back together here in just a few minutes. We've got postcards. You can take them and you can pass them out to people until we run out. But Thursday night we'll be back here, and it's only for freshmen. So, like, don't tell all your friends that aren't freshmen to come. And to be quite honest with you, the only way you can come is if you do bring a bunch of freshmen. because we're really trying to make that a space where A, it's for them, but B, the first club we do is all the schools together at Blossom Hill, and it can be super intimidating to show up with a ton of people you don't know. It's like, we're gonna give a safe space for the freshmen, give them a taste of what it could be. So yeah, that's happening.
This kid in my school named Benson Potts.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get Ben Potts here.
Get him back here.
Came like twice last year.
Yeah.
What for the trip and then like one other one.
His sister comes, but it's just like he just like shows it off every time I ask him.
Yeah.
Bring your star.
Yeah, come on. You're like, no.
Yash,
I
bring
can
Yash.
tell about it, but-
Bring Yash.
Yes.
Oh, Yash?
I would think I
Oh,
You can't do it.
No.
You bring it? Come on, Clay.
Oh,
Get past
same
it.
push. I mean, every pre-calc, he just won't. Like,
It's because he's smart.
Wait, what grade are you in?
he's junior.
Okay, so you're an AP pre-con.
Yeah, no Yash.
Here's what I would say when you're making this list, and I would encourage you, maybe like if you're up for it, make one, put it on your phone, like, and make it something where like, hey, you pray somewhat regularly for that list, and watch how maybe you just start praying for Yush, and you're like, this dude drives me crazy, and there's something about when I start praying about somebody, then I start realizing like, oh, if I were in their shoes, I understand what they're doing. There's a lot of reasons we act the way we do. And it boils down to usually I want you to like me. I want to know that I matter. I want to be good enough. But as you start praying for them and trying to befriend them, maybe bring them to Young Life. Watch what happens. I think there's a really cool thing to make that list and to think like your grade, think the freshman class, think all in between. I like to look for the people that like, I don't even know how to talk to you. We don't have anything in common. But I feel like I notice that you seem to think you don't matter. And I want you to know that you do. So, you make that list. That's what I would do.
For sure.
Keep talking.
I introduce myself to a lot of young kids at our school because I'm trying to start my homecoming campaign, because I gotta win, continue the couch streak. But so I introduced. So I talk to a lot of freshmen and all the guys and stuff. And I just feel like I need to add come to Young Life into that conversation.
Yeah. Sure.
There's so much potential in the freshman class this year. I haven't seen it.
That's a great way to put it.
Hey,
Can I finish?
let him talk.
There's a bunch of potential.
So you're on video.
Hey, you were on video too, weren't you?
Oh. We're gonna that's even worse.
Use a different word.
Barstool.
But there's just a lot of freshman guys and girls. So a lot of them come to FCA, but just a lot of them in general, guys too. There's a bus that goes to our football practice and comes and brings a whole bunch of them. And there's just so many people that I can tell that they might not be eager to come, but it's just they find their way there, and there's just so many of them.
Yeah. Some look a little lost.
Yeah.
I know I looked lost as a freshman, so
You're still lost, bro. You're still lost.
No, I'm not lost. I'm not lost.
You do not belong here, bro.
No, but definitely.
Bro, you
freshman,
belong here.
as a freshman, I was just like,
Double super six.
As a senior,
at
Beginning of freshman year.
Shut up. Not lost directionally. It's just I had I just didn't. I don't know. I tried to get everyone to like me, and I don't know. Didn't mean to open up on y'all.
That's good.
Needed a mat.
What?
Needed a mat.
Yeah.
Beginning of freshman year, I had that ice cream scoop here, so we've all come a long way.
Nice, bro.
Being in freshman year, I had glasses and
Facts.
braces.
Always
Now I have
growing up.
contacts.
there you go.
And I started
Still got the
doing-
braces though.
He started you. Wait, what happened?
They still got
He still got braces.
I wasn't saying that about it. No,
Yeah, and your foot
Crazy.
Somebody broke their foot playing slow pitch softballs.
Hey!
We'll wrap back.
A lot of potential, a lot of potential.
Hey, I'm gonna pray for
I'm
us.
gonna teach you video.
I'm gonna pray for us. All right, dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for the blessings you've given us. Thank you for the blessing of letting us all come here and just get division and look at what you might have for us for this next year. God, I pray that you can show us some names, God, and put some names on our hearts that we can start seeking after and seeking relationships with, genuine relationships, God, that we can grow into them knowing your name and knowing who you are and knowing that you love them and that they have a place, God. God, I pray for these guys that they keep growing with you and growing at their school, God. I pray that we have a great rest of our week and glorify you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Promise, it's literally only like 2.5 minutes left. And here's how we're going to close it. I'm going to tell you a couple dates that are upcoming so you kind of know what's happening for Young Life. And then I want everybody to gather right here. We're going to take just a group picture. And our leaders, we're going to pray for y'all. We're going to pray using that picture over the course of the year. I just wonder what's going to happen by us just pulling together for an hour on a Monday night before we start Young Life. I mean, when you look at that picture, I love to think, like, what would it take? I am not trying to make this gimmicky, and I told the guys this. Sometimes you do things like this, and it can turn into, like, let's just load our car up with a bunch of people and do a big, like, look how many people we got there. But I think about how big your schools are, how many folks are wandering those halls, trying to figure out if they matter, wrestling with questions and doubts. And we have the chance to come alongside them and to see life happen. I would love to see our Young Life Club start looking like that. We're busting at the seams. I know Ian has been praying that we at Rome High would outgrow this room, that we wouldn't fit in here because so many people would come. And I think you guys are a key piece to that. You can make Monday nights what you long for it to be. So here's what's upcoming, some of the dates that we're going to have happening. This Thursday night, right here, we're having Freshman Club, and I'm gonna take a stack right here, and I'm gonna pass these around. If you know some freshmen, or if you don't, just take some and go say hi to them and invite them. I would say if you want to take it a step further and actually go pick them up and bring them here, then you're welcome to come to club. But it's actually only for freshmen. So the only way you can be here is if you bring a bunch of other people. We're doing this so they get a taste of what Young Life is like, without there being a ton of other upperclassmen and stuff like that. Then, Monday, September 9th, y'all hang with me just for a quick second. I shouldn't have passed them out yet. You do just like I do. I start reading. Then Monday, September 9th at Blossom Hill. It's closed, by the way, so don't come like expecting we're going to have a ton of food. But we will have all area Young Life to kick off the year at Blossom Hill on Monday, September 9th, 7:47, as always. 2 weeks later,